get rid of that. And we are live. Live, Katie. Oh, I'm not exactly where I should be here. Alright, there I am. Whoa, that fucking cracked in my ears. Fuck. And it did again. It's May 22nd, 2023. And these are your Fortean Files. We didn't test this. Hopefully it's working. Dun. Amy says, hi, I am broadcasting to the old Facebook page tonight. I figure I might as well send it there and see if I can tank that fucker completely. I mean, why not? You might as well, I figure. I mean, I don't, pay attention to the cursing for YouTube anyway, so it's not like I'm doing anything proper. Farmer Fred Smith says the audio is working just fine. Thank you for joining us, Farmer Fred Smith. Farmer Fred Smith, we will get into the lovely Sarah Boone case this evening for you. Hold on to your hats, folks. If you don't know about this crazy bitch, you're in for a ride. She is like certifiable.
It's one of the wildest ones in recent times. Like, as far as just weird. What the fuck?
Yeah, she is a hoot. Drunk little girl. Very drunk little girl is what I would say. Farmer Fred Smith, he was crazy as well. I'll get into that, Farmer Fred Smith. I agree with you. Katie and I were talking about that before the show. So I will get into that later on in the second half of the show. Yes. There was craziness abound. Katie's having issues still with her internet. Katie, why don't you just shut it down? Unfortunately, we're going to continue having issues with that. We've got a couple of other troubleshooting things we're going to try for the next episode or beyond. As it is, I have to go out and buy a new fucking microphone, so... I mean, it's working okay right now, but... yeah, we'll get into the Sarah Boone case in depth later on this evening. Anything fun going on in your neck of the woods there, Katie?
No, just coming back to real life after getting a couple days off work for a business trip, which is always nice.
Mm-hmm.
Free health day, free nice dinners, it's a good time.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's always fun.
I have to go to Milwaukee. I've never been to Wisconsin before, so that's cool.
Milwaukee?
Yes.
Skip
over some drawbridges like Laverne and Shirley,
As old Alice Cooper would say. From, what was that, Wayne's World?
Joe Wayne's World while we were there, for sure.
What's that?
Joe quoted Wayne's World while we were there, for sure.
Oh, I'm sure he did. He's a man after my own heart.
Yes.
Good for him. Yeah, so, I did not do a lot this week besides paint. I did paint for an entire day yesterday. But other than that, not a lot. My reading slowed down quite a bit. I'm still stuck on the Chronicles of Narnia. I'm reading A Horse and His Boy. I'm just about done with it.
Yeah.
But it doesn't... It's kind of a... It is not... Like, here's what I'm going to say about A Horse and His Boy. It doesn't fit.
Yeah.
It doesn't really fit.
It's an oddball.
It is an oddball, and then they they reordered it in the order of the books, like where it belonged. They brought it back and put it before Prince Caspian, I guess, because it was written afterwards. But I don't know. It's not a horrible book. It's just, I don't know.
I haven't read those since I was in the 6th grade, so I don't. Really
Yeah, and they're kids' books too. That's the other hard part.
Right. I mean,
some of them are adultish.
They've become beyond a kid's book just because of like
Right.
what they are, I guess, but they are always a kid's book. Yes.
Damn, that went down wrong. Whoo, doggy. Yeah, it's an interesting read for me for sure. I read most of them, I think up to the Voyage of the Dawn Treader when I was real young, or fairly young. And to go back and reread some of these and read some of them for the first time, because I'd never read. So this time I read The Magician's Nephew. I'd never read that, which was very dark. I read, and now A Horse and His Boy, which I had never read. And I just feel like it's kind of out of place. The Magician's Nephew kind of fit because it tells the backstory of, Narnia. But anywho, I been kind of stuck with that, and not really moving very fast as I should be. But that's because I've got other shit that's been muddling my fucking brain. I did start up the Twitter account. It's let me set up a banner for that real quick. And there it is. I'm pretty sure that's the one. I couldn't get the Fortean Files. I had to go Fortean Files.
Yeah,
So,
no.
but yeah, or if you look for the Fortean Files, I'm sure you'll find it on Twitter. But yeah, that's the new Twitter page. The Twitter page has been growing a lot faster than the Facebook page. And here's the thing. Facebook is a bag of shit.
Yeah.
A wretched bag of shit. I have started a new page, okay, and I haven't said anything on the show for a few weeks now. It happened a few weeks ago. They already dinged the new page for content, for bullshit, and then they turned around and said, "Oh, you didn't do anything wrong." However, even though I didn't do anything wrong, they found in my favor, my page is still at risk.
It's so ridiculous.
So the brand new fucking page that I made is already at risk. So that's why I've switched over to fucking Twitter. I'm still going to continue to seed the Facebook page for now. I know there's a lot of people that go there that don't go to Twitter or won't go to Twitter. But I am doing the Twitter page now. It's growing at a rate that is far superior to what I get on Facebook. Sorry, it just fucking is. In what little fucking time I've been doing it. Like, literally, like, when did I start it? Like, a couple of weeks ago, if that?
Yeah, I'd say 2 weeks ago.
If that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's already just grown quite well. I think I'm up to, like, I can tell you, hold on. Dun, dun, dun. I'm already up to 55 followers. And getting stuff retweeted and, liked all the time. And so there's a lot more interaction that I'm finding on Twitter than on fucking Facebook. Say what you will about either one. Like, I'm going to use them both, but Facebook's a fucking sham right now. It's a fucking sham. Sorry. For those of you that think it's amazing, it's a fucking sham. completely.
I certainly don't have anything nice to say about it, so.
Yeah, so I've been trying to, build the Twitter page and see if Facebook will, allow me to have some sort of a fucking like page, like I used to have. But they're not gonna, I don't think. I think they're just gonna fucking keep fucking with me. So, anywho, and excuse me. We did not have we did have a response to the Dunn family donations, but I wouldn't say it was a lot. I think there was like a handful of donations. I know Katie did something. I'm sending something this week, but they knew that in advance. Someone did send a rather large sum out to them. I don't know where that came from. I know Matt's been promoting it too. But as I said before, like if it was a fucking dog, they'd fucking all be ponying up.
Right.
It's
a worthy cause.
Yeah, like it's Fred, people.
I made a PayPal account because I didn't have one, but
oh wow, look at you.
I'm probably going to cancel it in a week, but I did it.
Oh. I like having my PayPal account just in case people, who have PayPal want to send me money, or whatnot. But I don't use Venmo or anything like that. That's the only one I use, and it just works.
I just don't use anything like that. I'm like Cave Katie over here. I'm super basic.
You are kind of Cave Katie. I can say that.
My nickname when I was in my 20s and I was resistant to technology. My brother, he called me Cave Katie. I'm like, I'm sorry. I don't want it.
Yeah. No. Give to the Dunn family if you can. And I mean, I know that times are tight for a lot of people. And that was one of the first things that Des said right out of the gate. She goes, "I know times are tough for people," and, so she's got a good look at it.
Yeah. At
things right now. So, yeah, do what you can though, folks. A little bit even helps.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't have to give, hundreds of dollars, just $20, whatever would be fine.
Even $5.
I mean, you're gonna get charged that 99 cents. So, like I said, that's why I say you might as well make it good. You might as well make it something. Yeah. But yeah, I definitely we will continue to promote this. I will continue to promote it on the different pages for a little while here. Try to help them out as they're trying to get through some of this stuff. But yeah, give what you can. I'll keep the banner running during the show. I don't know what the fuck's going on with my green screen today, Katie. That's some funky shit.
It's a little...
It's like doing... Yeah, it's a little off. Yeah, now it's like really bad. Now let's see. There we go. I have a light over my computer that some days it makes things okay with my green screen. Other days it fucks with it. Yeah. Today, it's fucking with it. So, yeah. Give to the Dunn family if you can. We would greatly appreciate it, as would they. Also, those of you who, listen to the show, love the show, please subscribe to the podcast. Go over to Spotify, subscribe to the podcast. You can also join on like Stitcher, Amazon Music, Google Podcasts. The only platform we are not on is iTunes, Apple, because fuck them.
Yeah, fuck them.
That's what I say. Fuck them. I have an Apple phone, and still, fuck them. Because they took it down for whatever reason. I can't quite figure out what the reason is. So yeah. Anywho, subscribe to the podcast. And we will get into the show for this evening. Ba-ba-ba. I gotta get comfortable tonight, Katie.
Yeah, settle in.
It's important.
Yeah.
You gotta be comfortable for reading the news and doing all this shit. I went through, I much like a college student today, crammed my Sarah Boone finals. The last 3 hours before the show. And made all my notes. Yeah, so it's been a day.
Yeah. What a fun cram.
Yeah. Oh God, it's been a hoot. Anyway, on to our news of the evening. What are we gonna start with here? Oh, let's start with this one. This one's cute. Just the name of it alone got me. It totally got me, Katie. From BigThink.com. Meet the Fosgrim, Norway's green violin-playing goat-eating goblin. Should you find yourself wandering along the edge of a stream in a darkened Norwegian forest, you might catch the lilting sound of a violin. At first you wonder if it's just the wind whistling through the branches or perhaps a birdsong. But as the sun continues to draw up, the haunting melody rises, growing more insistent. Then as you round the bend where a waterfall cascades into a shallow pool, you see him, a slender, masculine figure with glinting eyes caressing a hard danger fiddle with his long, thin fingers. Meet the Fosgrim, or Waterfall Lord, a guardian of Norway's waterfalls and rivers. Depending on who you ask, this cryptid might appear as a lithe, handsome man or a gaunt, green, goblin-esque figure with mangy locks. Norse mythology is full of trolls, elves, werewolves, and other sprites that wreak havoc or grant favor depending on their whims. Within this fantastical taxonomy, the Fosgrim is one of the more helpful beings as long as you bring him a snack. Sure, the Fosgrim has a penchant for luring travelers to him on the blackest of nights, but underneath it all, this cryptid is a real artist. He plays his violin with superhuman skill and really just wants to challenge a dude in Georgia to a fiddle match. And he really just wants to teach others to do the same. Aspiring magicians should seek him out on Thursday evenings with a stolen white kid goat. Katie wouldn't like this.
Oh no.
The trick is to avert your eyes from the Fosgrim, then throw his dinner into the waterfall. Pick a scrawny goat and the Fosgrim will begrudgingly show you how to tune a violin, but nothing more. If you show up with a particularly plump offering, however, he'll reward your thievery by teaching you to play the violin until your fingers bleed raw. If that sounds extreme, bear in mind that it's not all that different from what actual concert violinists go through. According to 19th century folklorist Edward Lumley's Scandinavian Popular Traditions and Superstitions, at the end of this ordeal, you'll be able to play so masterfully that the very trees will dance and the waterfalls stop their course. Since Fosgrims value their privacy, keeping this whole operation on the low is crucial. Fail to keep his secret or accidentally look him in the eye and he'll take revenge by dancing nude in your face. Really. Seductive, musically inclined supernatural water beings are a recurring trope throughout Scandinavian, Gaelic, and Germanic lore. In Sweden, the Fosgrim goes by Strömkarlen and exhibits more or less the same benign tendencies. From Scottish Kelpies to Icelandic Henneker, there are all sorts of reasons to stay out of the water in Northern Europe. Far deadlier than the Fosgrim is the Neck or the Knock, a Norwegian demon whose shape is as mercurial as water itself. These dangerous tricksters might take the form of a beautiful human, a horse, or perhaps even treasure lurking just out of reach in the water. Young children wandering unsupervised after dark are his favorite prey. And this just goes on to more bullshit. But yeah, the Fosgrim. Katie.
Sounds weird.
You gotta sacrifice goats to the Fosgrim, and he'll teach you how to play the violin.
I learned how to play the violin in like the 2nd grade, and it's lame. So no, thank you. I will not be sacrificing any goats.
I think he's, got a golden fiddle. That's what I think. Pretty sure. I'm pretty sure Charlie Daniels wrote a song about this motherfucker. Just saying, Katie. Just saying. What do we got next, Katie? What do we got next? Oh, I liked this one, Katie. This is not exactly like Fortean or anything, but from FTW USA Today, angler catches certified river monster just as he said he would. Pennsylvania fisherman Mike Worley predicted he would catch a state record, and last weekend he did it, hauling in a 66.4-pound flathead catfish from the Susquehanna River while using a foot-long trout as bait.
Wow.
PennLive.com referred to the catfish as a certified river monster, as Worley had taken the flathead catfish to Columbia Bait and Tackle, where it weighed on a state-certified scale and verified by Jeff Schmidt of the Pennsylvania Fish and Boat Commission. I knew it was a record as soon as I saw it, tackle shop owner Matt Musselman told Lancaster Online. I see these big fish all the time, and this was the biggest. You want to see this motherfucker?
Yeah,
of course you do. Of course you do.
Yeah.
I would. Let me see. Share screen. Boom. Share.
Wow.
That's him next to it.
Whoa, yes.
Look at that fucker.
Damn, he's fucking huge.
Yeah.
That's incredible. It's a big blob.
That's a fucking massive fish. Massive fish. But yeah, good on him.
But I can't catch nothing like that where I'm at.
Good on him for catching that motherfucker. And he let it go too. Let it released it back out. He's like, I got that fucking big. Let it go.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah. So, our next story of the evening, Katie, comes from the-line-up.com. 8 obscure paranormal documentaries that will scare you out of your mind. Do you believe in ghosts? Have you ever seen a UFO? How about a cryptid, like Bigfoot or the Loch Ness Monster? Or simply had some sort of experience that you couldn't explain? Excuse me, Katie. I'm not going to read any more of that bullshit. Anyway, this is the list. Haxan. Haxan. For our first documentary about supernatural, we have to go all the way back to one of the oldest surviving documentaries that still exist, Benjamin Christensen's legendary 1922 silent film Haxan. This ambitious Swedish film chronicles witchcraft through the ages. The title under which it was initially released in the United States through a combination of documentary footage and dramatic reenactments of medieval superstitions and beliefs. Though it has become a classic and has been released by the Criterion Collection, Haxan's very age and status as a silent film mean that it isn't as often seen by modern audiences as perhaps should be, especially given that many of its grim tableaux have never been exceeded for horrific imagery. Never even heard of it.
No, me neither.
UFO. I guess that's the name of it. In a world filled with documentaries and often lazily researched, docuseries about unidentified flying objects and the possibility that we are not alone in the solar system, one of the most influential and eeriest remains one of the first. Producer Clarence Green made the film UFO in 1956, just a few years after the term had first been coined, inspired in part by his own encounter with an unidentified flying object. The film, which combines a fictionalized narrative with analysis of actual early UFO footage, provided a template for many UFO documentaries that would come later, and exists as an eerie relic of a moment when UFOs were at the forefront of the public consciousness and remained unexplained and underexplored. Interesting.
Well, if it was made that long ago, I don't know how helpful it's going to be today, but
Right. What's the next one here? Wisconsin Death Trip. Adapted from the notorious 1973 book of the same name, James Marsh's 1999 film combines voiceover narration from actor Ian Holm reading contemporary newspaper accounts with silent black and white reenactments of historic tragedies that rocked the residents of Black River Falls, Wisconsin in the late 1800s. The combined weight of so much unlikely tragedy with the local beliefs and superstitions of the predominantly German, Swedish, and Norwegian inhabitants of the region paints a grim picture without any clear cause or through line, one that is easy to be haunted by. The stories are based on a respect for the individual tragedies and disasters, Marsh has said. If the film lacks one thing, it's a governing idea on that level, but it would have been a travesty. Interesting.
I think I've heard of that one before.
You've heard of that one before?
I think it's got some famous footage from it that's pretty well known.
The next one is Beware the Slender Man. We all know the Slender Man isn't real, right? One of the most famous creepypastas, Slender Man, was created by Eric Knudsen on the Something Awful forums in June of 2009, and yet the Slender Man has accomplished something few other paranormal entities have managed. He was responsible for a near-fatal stabbing in 2014. Yeah, Beware the Slender Man goes into that whole, those two girls stabbing that other girl. I watched that documentary. It's pretty decent. I think it's on HBO Max. It is worth a watch.
Yeah.
To see how this fucking creepypasta, this fake story, was believed. It's nuts.
It's wicked nuts. Like
that these girls believe this shit.
And it's so amazing that the girl survived, but it's still so dark. Like, oh man.
Yeah. Yeah, it is it's a sad story. You know, and these girls are very young. You know, and they're going to have a portion of their life taken away from them. You know, because of stupidity.
Right.
You know,
I think one of them is out.
You know, I hope that, you know, it's one of those things where, you know, you and I have talked about shit like this before, where I hope, I think that all people deserve redemption, you know, and I wonder if we've gotten away from, in this country, trying to rehabilitate the people who we put in our jails and our prisons.
That's a tough one.
It is a tough one, but that's the whole idea, isn't it?
For everything but murder, sure.
But even murders, a lot of them have, like, there's a certain amount of time.
I've drawn a line, and that's where I draw it. And if you took the life of someone else intentionally, I will put that caveat on there. If it was an accident, okay, sure.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
You maliciously killed someone, you don't deserve rehabilitation, in my opinion, because that person's dead and they don't get rehabilitation from what they went through. So why should you? But that's just me. I get that it's a controversial thing. But
it's a weird thing to wrap your head around.
And I'm not saying death penalty necessarily, even.
It's a weird thing to wrap your head around, and there's an author that I'm reading that posits that idea. Like, that can a murderous bastard be a person to save people?
Why do we need to risk it to find out? That's my
question. But that's, you know, and you know, and obviously it's a fictional thing.
Right.
You know, but it's an interesting thought project. You know,
projects.
I do like thought projects.
I hate them.
You don't like to break your brain.
No,
you don't like to think about outside of anything that's outside of your happy little moral code, which I get, and I understand that, actually.
I do like to think about those things. I just have certain rigid opinions.
Yeah. Like, everybody who's killed people maliciously doesn't deserve any redemption.
Yeah.
But I think it's a definite thing that we should debate, I guess. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't think that the debate ends with that. I think that, like I said, I think people deserve redemption, and I hope that people can find it too.
Yeah.
Like, that's the other thing. I hope that they can find it.
And I think there's a difference between redemption and, I don't know, risking everyone on your heartstrings being pulled.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I just think we've gotten away from, in this country, from trying to rehabilitate the people that we put into our prison and jail systems. And we tend to make people who are not necessarily major offenders into major offenders by the way we jail them.
Yes, I do agree with that, for sure. We definitely have a broken system, and we have a lot of people who are spending way too much time in prison for victimless crimes.
Yeah. Yeah, and just crap. It's just crap. It's a shit system. I hate it. Anyway, we deviated on that one a little bit.
Yeah, we went away.
But anyway, our next one, Demon House. Is it? As Dread Central's Steve Barton said, one of the single most compelling documentaries on the existence of the supernatural that I've ever witnessed, or as investigator Kenny Biddle claims, is it filmed a documentary style but doesn't portray real events? ? In either case, the 2018 flick Demon House follows Zach Baggins as he purchases a home in Gary, Indiana, that was purportedly the site of demonic activity so severe that it got the Department of Child Services involved. Baggins himself is no stranger to the paranormal, having acted as the primary host for the Travel Channel series Ghost Adventures. Whether you're a skeptic or a believer, this haunted house flick is sure to provide plenty of frights. The Bray Road Beast. I've seen this documentary. I can honestly say this one's good. This one I've seen. After I watched this documentary, I had to do an episode on the Bray Road Beast.
Yes.
It's a very good look into the Bray Road Beast. It's done by Small Town Monsters. That's Seth Breedlove. He does some good work. So I would definitely tell you guys to check out the Bray Road Beast. The House in Between is the next one. It may not be as famous as many of the other haunted houses that have appeared on paranormal investigation shows, but according to filmmakers Steve Gonsalves and Kendall Welpton, the Jackson House in Mississippi has been undergoing a continuous paranormal investigation for more than 10 years in an attempt to get to the bottom of what is happening in what may be the most haunted house in America, as the film's marketing materials would have it. The result is a surprisingly human look at what it means to own a supposedly haunted house, as the filmmakers combine scientific theories and documentary footage to try to make sense of one woman's unusual experiences. This 2020 documentary was followed by a sequel in 2022. An Unknown Compelling Force. In 1959, 9 experienced hikers perished under mysterious circumstances in Russia's Ural Mountains. The event, which has become known as the Dyatlov Pass incident, is one of the most compelling and haunting unsolved mysteries of modern times, and yet it never got an exhaustive documentary approach until 2021. That was when filmmaker Liam Leggio released An Unknown Compelling Force, a chilling look at the incident, debunking some of the more outlandish theories surrounding the deaths of the hikers, but providing as many haunting questions as it does answers. I've been wanting to watch that one. Dyatlov Pass is one of my fucking favorites, to be honest.
I don't know if I've seen that one or not, because I've watched so much stuff about it.
Yeah, that one, it's definitely one of my favorites. So,
yeah, it's a classic.
Yeah, I want to look into it. Our next story of the evening from livescience.com. James Webb Telescope finds evidence of celestial monster stars the size of 10,000 suns lurking at the dawn of time. The James Webb Telescope has found key chemical fingerprints of supermassive stars just 440 million years after the Big Bang. The James Webb Telescope has discovered the first evidence that millions of supermassive stars up to 10,000 times the mass of the Sun may be hiding at the dawn of the universe. Born just 440 million years after the Big Bang, the stars could shed light on how our universe was first seeded with heavy elements. Researchers who dubbed the giant stars celestial monsters published their findings May 5th in the journal Astronomy and Astrophysics. Today, thanks to the data collected by the James Webb Telescope, we believe we have found a first clue to the presence of these extraordinary stars, lead study author Corinne Charbonnel, an astronomy professor at the University of Geneva in Switzerland, said in a statement. The researchers found chemical traces of the gigantic stars inside globular clusters, clumps of tens of thousands to millions of tightly packed stars, many of which are among the most ancient to have ever formed in our universe. Roughly 180 globular clusters dot our Milky Way galaxy, and because they are so old, serve astronomers as windows through time into the earliest years of our universe. Mysteriously, some of the stars in these clusters have wildly different proportions of elements, oxygen, nitrogen, sodium, and aluminum, despite forming at roughly the same time and from the same gas and dust clouds 13.4 billion years ago. Astronomers believe this elemental variety could be explained by the existence of supermassive stars, cosmic giants, born in the denser conditions of the early universe that burned their fuel at much higher temperatures, producing heavier elements that subsequently polluted smaller infant stars, which usually consist of much lighter elements. So basically, they just found evidence of shit that they thought they were looking for. Big fucking stars, Katie. Big ones.
Crazy shit.
Big ones. If you have experienced a murder, you might think differently. That's true. I might. But at the same time, I think it's a question that deserves the debate.
Yeah. It's a heavily debated topic, for sure. Always will be, probably.
Yeah. I'm one that believes in discussions about everything. So, I think that's the only...
crime community is all about, is talking about that kind of stuff.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely think that we need to talk about shit. It's the only way we're going to get to the fucking bottom of it, for sure. But, what do we got? Oh, here's a good one, Katie. You'll like this one. From themirror.co.uk. Car-sized UFO rotates through the sky, prompting speculation and conspiracy theories. Footage has been posted online of a UFO described as the size of a car floating a few hundred feet between Gomersall and Burstall in West Yorkshire, with enthusiasts debating its origins. You want to see this fucking thing?
I was just going to ask. You better have a picture of this thing.
Yeah, of course we do. Hold on just a second.
Claims.
Let me make sure I don't have any ads up before we see this thing, because we know we love those fucking things.
Mm-hmm.
All right, here we go. Boom. I'll make this full screen. You see that okay?
Looks like a witch on a broom. Okay. All right.
Yeah. Oh, kind of went out of focus there. Oh, there we go. Footage slowed down.
That is pretty fucking weird shaped.
It's weird shaped.
Kind of like, oh, it looks like an alien balloon.
It does.
It looks like a balloon. It's a balloon. I solved it. We don't need Phil. We're done here.
I'm done with this shit. It's a balloon.
Yeah, look at that. It totally looks like one of those helium balloons.
It almost looks like a chair. It almost looks like an inflatable chair.
Yes, that too. Yeah, see, we got options.
Yeah, it looks like it looks like. Oh, it's gonna load the ad. God damn it!
I want to know how they knew to claim that it was the size of a car.
I don't
Because
know.
measuring distance up in the sky is a tricky fucking thing, man. It's
Yeah. Oh
hard.
yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. So I don't know. Um. Our next story of the evening, Katie, from boingboing.net. UFOs halt airport traffic in Taiwan and Turkey. On Monday, a China Airlines pilot spotted a UFO near Taoyuan International Airport, halting all flights for nearly an hour. According to Focus Taiwan, the Taiwan Taoyuan International Airport Co. could not determine whether the object was a drone or something else entirely. This on the heels of a prior UFO sighting over southeastern Turkey on Saturday that led to Gaziantep Oguzeli International Airport suspending flights for 12 hours. From New Straits Times, a commercial aircraft which landed at the airport around midnight reported that it had spotted on its radar an unidentified object at a height of 2,743.2 meters over the city of Gaziantep, said the authorities. Upon receiving the report from the pilot, air traffic control authorities ordered all scheduled flights to be diverted to airports in Adana and Sanliurfa instead. Turkish news website Haberturk meanwhile reported that unidentified object was also confirmed by air traffic controllers. And that's the end of that story, Katie. That's all you get.
Yeah,
That's it.
kind of interesting.
That's it.
Wish I had more.
That's all we get. Nothing else. No more to that one. What else do I got tonight? Do I got anything else? We got our title story, Katie. Our title story of the evening from the dailymail.co.uk. UFOs are spotted flying on the dark side of the moon in video recorded in broad daylight, but not all viewers are convinced. 2 unidentified flying objects has been spotted over the dark side of the moon. A social media user has claimed at least 2 white objects can apparently be seen floating over the moon in footage posted to TikTok last week. The TikTok video posted by user Larry Lou is captioned, "What is this object near the moon?" and has over 4.6 million likes and 100,000 comments. Would you like to see this lovely footage, Katie?
Yeah.
Let me see what we got.
I love the tiki-talkies.
The tiki-talkies? You like the tiki-talkers?
I don't, actually. That was
You like the tiki-talkies? Alright, get rid of this over here. So this is what they got.
How did you capture that?
Oh.
This ain't no cell phone video, clearly.
There's a picture down there. I guess there's a full video. I don't want to click on it though, because we'll probably get an ad.
Right. That is interesting. Okay.
Yeah. But I guess there's questions. There's questions,
satellite?
Katie. I don't know. What if it's like dropping something on the moon? Payload. Look at that. It's dropping a fucking bomb.
You're right.
Boom! I don't know.
Okay, that actually, of all the things we've looked at here in the past few months, this one actually kind of makes me go, okay, all right. This isn't complete bullshit, I suppose.
What's going on here?
Yeah.
Yeah, but if you had it explained in 5 minutes, you'd be like, okay.
Yeah.
If Phil Poling, if you didn't know anything about like swamp gas and all that bullshit that they fucking told people, and Phil Poling came out and said, yeah, it's fucking just swamp gas, you'd be like, oh, it's fucking just swamp gas. We're fucking idiots, Katie. We don't know shit. Some expert comes out and tells us something, we're just gonna be like, oh.
But if the
okay.
government comes out and tells us, we're all gonna not believe it. So.
Yeah, the government, they're a bunch of fucking. Yeah.
The big bag.
It's I don't know. It's hard to look at these videos and see anything that's of any value. Having done this, like I've said, for a long time now, for as long as I've done it, you get very jaded.
Yeah, for sure.
You just see so much fucking bullshit. And you're like, what?
You see this kind of footage of like close up. Like, we don't have cameras that can pick that up. That's not your everyday person.
Where's the fucking James Webb telescope for this son of a bitch?
Right.
You know? We just get this TikToker dude.
Yeah, and this was on TikTok? Fuck. Okay, I take back everything I said.
This was on TikTok. There you go, exactly, right?
I forgot about the contact. My bad.
Yeah, that's the problem, Katie.
Damn it. You're right. You
It's
talked me down.
It's a sad world.
It is.
It's a very sad world. So anyway, this brings us to the conclusion of the first half of our program this evening. We will leave you with the sounds of night driving.
Yes.
Good old night driving. We love night driving. Katie and I will be back momentarily. We're taking our quick break to use the facilities, grab any drinks or anything that we may need. When we come back, we will have for you the second half of the program. We will dive into the Sarah Boone case, the lovely little woman who zipped her boyfriend up in a suitcase.
Don't miss it.
And allowed him to suffocate to death. It's a hoot. We'll be right back. And we are back. I just think we should listen to this for the next hour.
It's good. Can you hear me? Am I okay?
Yeah, you sound okay.
Alright.
Why, did your audio seem to be crappy or something?
Yes, I feel like I'm having audio problems, but if not, that's great.
No, you sound good.
Good.
No, you sound okay. All right, on with the second half of the program. Did you hear that Brian Kohlberger pleaded not guilty?
Yes, yep.
Not guilty. Good old Brian.
Oh man, I can't wait for that to go to court.
Yeah?
Yeah, I need to know things.
What do you think about, before we get into the Sarah Boone stuff, what do you think about the jury deliberation in the Danny Masterson trial?
I'm hopeful,
Yeah.
but I don't know. It's really complicated because he has to get multiple convictions. He's not gonna suffer shit if he only gets one.
Right.
So, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know either. I want to see him. You know, he's obviously guilty of this.
Yes.
In my opinion, looking at the, the different victims, the different statements, the stuff that's been brought out that Scientology knew about. So, and I'm pretty sure, wasn't Priscilla Presley involved in this one as well?
I think
to some degree.
She was set to testify, but she
Right.
couldn't because she passed away.
Right.
But I don't think her role, I think she was just supposed to be a Scientology to explain how Scientology works.
Right.
I don't think her involvement was really all that super, super, super important where it's like, oh, fuck, oh no, we don't have her anymore.
Right.
But yes, she was supposed to be involved.
Yeah. Well, anywho, I'm hopeful for a guilty verdict, I guess I should say. I think he's guilty, and I'd like to see a guilty verdict, but
as long as they've been deliberating, I think there's some holdouts, and that's the scary part.
Yeah, I think that there's an issue. Which is that's two different juries.
Yeah.
That there's been problems with. So I don't think you're gonna come to, it's hard. The dude is a very well-known person.
Right.
That 70s show was super popular.
Oh, yeah.
And then he was on The Ranch, which was kind of popular.
Yeah.
On Netflix. So there's a lot of people who have seen him and who know him. And that, I don't know what that lends to. I don't know how that skews things. But, you add into the mix Scientology. And we know Scientology sticks their fingers into shit severely.
My personal feeling with watching all the coverage of it I have is that the trickiest part of this case, actually, for the jury probably isn't Scientology. Well, in a sideways way, it's Scientology, but it's the case law and the bounds that they have to make their decision within because of the weird sideways way they got this to court. Typically, this sort of case is well beyond the statute of limitations.
Right.
And they got past that through a technicality. And when you're already charging someone on a kind of wonky technicality, and then the jury's giving these really strict instructions on what the law says, it makes it really hard for a jury to really be firm.
Yeah, oh no, I get it. And And I also get that when you are serving on one of these juries for one of these, like, like you said, these wonky, kind of charges because they're kind of past the statute of limitations, but they're not. Like, what kind of precedents do these set?
Yeah.
And
your laws, it makes a difference in it too. Other states, this wouldn't even be a wonky thing, but this one it is.
Right. Yeah, it's a weird one. So I don't know. I'm kind of. I want to see some justice here. So I'm hopeful that we'll see some justice, but I don't know that we will.
I hope so.
But anyway, Sarah Boone. Sarah Boone. So much like a college student, I crammed this today because of my lovely schedule this week. So, good old Sarah Boone. She is a fucking hoot, this bitch. Just a hoot. All right. So here's my take on Sarah Boone. Drunken fucking whore.
Yep.
I want to sit like Ben. Is it Crowder? Steven Crowder, outside of a fucking college with a little table. It says, "Sarah Boone is a drunken whore. Prove me wrong." Like, she is.
I think you have a mass that would agree.
Yeah. So, Farmer Fred Smith. I know you've been holding your breath for this one. So, yes, her boyfriend was a piece of shit too. And before we get into this, I want to state that there were multiple instances on the record of her and her boyfriend Jorge fighting. Physically. Outside of their apartment, physically. Outside of their apartment, inside their apartment, fucking all over the fucking place. Now, this goes back to something I've said many, many times on the Fortean Slip before. I probably said it on this show. If you're in one of these types of abusive relationships, these toxic relationships, get the fuck out. Don't try to fucking save it. Don't try to fix it. Get the fuck out. Get the fuck out. There is no need for you to put yourself in a position where the police need to be called because of your significant other. Just doesn't need to happen. Ever. And if you allow that situation to occur more than once, if it occurs once, I mean, that's, shit happens. If it occurs more than once, you're an idiot.
Yeah.
So, yes, to go back to what you were saying at the beginning of the show, Farmer Fred Smith, yes, he was crazy as well. And I completely think that he would have strangled her eventually if she hadn't done what she'd done. I think it's a very good possibility that would have happened. So I want to go through some of the stuff in the interrogation. I've time-stamped some stuff through that the one that you sent me there, the second one that you sent me. That I'd wanted to go over. Let me see if I can find the first one.
We should probably set it up a little bit.
Right, so that's also what I want to do. So,
yeah.
All right, so to get into the meat and potatoes of the case, these two had a tumultuous, what I would say, toxic relationship. Sarah Boone, and what was Jorge's last name?
Oh, I don't remember, and that's terrible because I like to remember these names, and I don't.
Well, Jorge, if you can Google it. So Sarah Boone and Jorge, whatever his fuck, and she had an ex-husband, and she had a child with the ex-husband, correct?
No. Yes, with the ex-husband. Yes.
Yeah. So this woman was a parent. So they had this tumultuous, toxic relationship, and one night, the way she describes it to the police when they arrive is that they were having a good night, and they were going to go in and put a puzzle together or some shit.
Yes.
And they worked on a puzzle, and then she had suggested that they play hide and seek. And he had gotten it, or she had suggested that it would be funny if he got in the suitcase. And she fell asleep whilst he was in the suitcase, and she woke up in the morning and realized he was dead.
Yes. Jorge Torres was his name.
Torres. There's a lot of plot holes here. If this was a story that I had read by an author, I would be like, something doesn't seem right here. So yeah, and come to find out, and we're going to go through a lot of this and show this to you guys as we go through this. They find on her phone proof that this didn't happen this way. And they charge her with his murder. And that brings us to now, which now the case is kind of like going forward, right, Katie?
Kinda.
Kinda?
It's such a shit show. I cannot believe this case hasn't gone to court. So this bitch has gone through 7 court-appointed lawyers.
Attorneys? No shit.
7. They have all recused themselves, or they found a way out. And I'm pretty sure the 7th one, he's going to be throwing himself off a bridge here any day now. So, yeah. Supposedly, right now, it's set to start July 11th. But this is like the 27th time the date's been set. So, you know.
Wow. Why we allow this shit?
Well,
you know, there are certain stopgaps that are put in to help people that deserve it or need it, or, you know, whatever. To see somebody like her abuse the system, you know, it disgusts me, Katie.
It is. It's gross.
Yeah. So right now we're looking at July.
I think it's the 11th, but yes, it's July.
Yeah.
But again, that date has been reset and reset. I think this is over 3 years ago this happened.
Wow. Yeah.
And
Let's
7
see.
public defenders is like unheard of. Like, sure, you'll have lots of cases, especially in a really hard to defend case, where they'll go through 2, 3, maybe even 4 public defenders. But fucking 7?
Yeah, that's a lot. That's
Yeah,
a
and
lot.
they haven't done yet. There could be 8, 9, 10. We'll see.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So I don't want to go. I don't want because we've limited time. Maybe at some point in time, in the future, we can expand on how we do this second hour or whatnot to more time, because I know you and I get really into this shit. But right now, it's just not happening. Rehab. What's that in relation to? Is she behind on the show? Or?
I don't know. I don't get that either.
Clarify on that one, Amy. So I don't want to go too far into this and not be able to get out before the end of the show.
Yes.
Because it's a deep rabbit hole, so to speak. Would she be eligible for rehab? I don't think rehab would help this girl. To be honest with you, I think she needs deep psychological help or psychiatrical.
Well, there is an answer to that question, and that's whether or not they prove intent in court.
Right.
If they don't prove intent, then she will get all sorts of help and a lighter sentence. But if they prove intent, then she's pretty well fucked and is probably going to rot without anything. So.
All right. So I've got, so I'm going to try to do this and see if I can set this up so that I don't wind up with any sounds coming out of the computer, just coming through the Yeti. So let me know, Katie, if you can hear this when I turn it on. Do you hear that?
No.
No. Oh, because I'm not presenting it. That's why.
This is probably why.
Yeah, let's present that. So here is. This is from right after the cops had showed up at her house. She is. Oh, look, we're live. We're live. There's only 3 people watching.
Hi.
Yeah, this is right after the cops have shown up, and she is, like, giving her little explanations.
Right down the street. Okay.
Can you hear that?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you were playing and you did some up. I did, but then I fell asleep. Okay, stop. You okay? I wasn't here. I'm just trying to figure out what happened. I don't know if you suffocated or like had an aneurysm or a heart attack or what. Medical.
I'm sorry to laugh about this, but this woman is fucking ridiculous.
None that I knew of. No.
Just delusional.
All we had was a bottle of wine. Literally, just a bottle of wine. Okay. You entitled artwork. Then we decided to play hide and seek. That's all that happened. Okay. So I don't know if you had a heart attack or what in there. I don't know what happened. So how long was it when y'all on him prior to calling 911? Tried that all morning? Yes. Okay. And then I called him while I was doing CPR. What time did you start? Probably in your ballpark. Here, let me fill this deputy in, okay? Please, may I have my Dr. Pepper? I am so cotton mouth right now.
I like how she's so worried to order fucking Dr. Pepper.
Uh-huh.
This whole fucking... Like, why didn't you grab it on your way out of the fucking house, you dumb bitch? Yeah, so and we got this from Dreading Crime and Psychology. You can see the YouTube channel down there. You know, if you want to go check out this whole thing, it's worth checking out, to be honest, to go through the whole fucking thing and hear her bullshit. Watch. Yeah, it is an absolute hoot. And I say that, you know, also understanding that a man died. Now, yes, and I agree with Farmer Fred Smith. He was a fucking crazy asshole too. And I honestly think that something bad would have happened either way. You know, I think this relationship was doomed.
Yeah.
If it continued with the two of them together. I think he was going to snap and kill her, or she did what she did. You know? And it's too bad. it's
Horrible.
it's a tragedy. But be that as it may, this woman is hilarious to listen to. So she gives all this bullshit at the after the cops show up. She the 911 call, like, she's like basically the whole time asking if she can stop doing CPR. Like, can I just stop? Like, he's purple. Like, I wanted to cue that one up too to go over, but at the same time, I was just like, there's a lot to fucking go over here.
There's so many sound bites.
Yeah. So, and I wanted to make sure I got the one where she was like, it's not malicious. So, there's one here. Right there. Whoa, and of course it's gonna play an ad, you rat bastards. I hate YouTube. YouTube just sucks.
I actually just pulled for YouTube Premium recently, and I have no regrets. Just throwing that in there.
Yeah?
Yeah, I did.
How much is it per month?
$11.99, I think. But you get a 3-month trial when you start, so
it might be worth it for me to do it. I'm not gonna lie.
golden. I have no regrets, Chris. None.
It might be worth it. All right, so this is okay. So, mind you, I kind of love how the guy set this whole video up, because he goes through in the beginning about all these people like who get interviewed about her. Excuse me, talking about her drinking her face off, like all the time, being drunk and showing up fucking blackout drunk on their porch, and how her ex-husband constantly woke up to her drunk with people he didn't even know in his house. So, and then this part of the interrogation, she basically downplays her drinking.
Asked him to come see her, and when he would do something she didn't like, she would call the cops to get him arrested. While battered and abused partners do have an extremely difficult time.
You don't have to wake up the next.
Wait a minute, where is it?
You're right there.
He's really trying. Just, and then he starts to think about things, and I think he gets overwhelmed, and then it's like, next thing I know, he's drinking. So it's like, oh man, I know where this is going to go, so I'm going to go upstairs and read a book, or I'm going to go for a bike ride, or I'm going to do something else. Or I don't want to drink. I don't want to drink. The occasional wine, whatever, or if it's a weekend, that's when you have a good time. You don't have to wake up the next day.
Oh, you mean not like all the time, like everybody says that you do?
Right.
Wake up the next day and do things. I have to tend to Lucas. I have to take him to school. I have all this stuff to do. He doesn't know how to, I guess, maintain himself, where I can do 50 things at once and still know the 50 things more prior that I need to get done. He can't process like that. He didn't process like that, so he would literally, not literally, but have smoke coming out of his ears. So the next thing you know, he doesn't want to deal with it. I'm going to go get something to drink. So the majority of the time, I would hang out outside or do something else because I don't want to drink. And every time, his job broke his heart.
Yeah, she is literally just trying to set up the case for, like, I'm not an alcoholic. I'm not the one that's drinking.
Yeah, and the sad, obvious truth is that painting she's putting up there is true for both of them, not just him.
Yeah, she was right there with him, fucking slinging back alcohol.
Yeah.
The whole time. So, and then, let's see. So, she goes through all this and then explain how, They were just playing hide and seek, and she didn't understand, and she left him, enough room to get out, and she just fell asleep. And if she hadn't fallen asleep, that this wouldn't have happened. And the whole time that this is going on, she's saying to them, if you could just see the stuff on my phone that, of him, like, smashing my TV and et cetera, and either she didn't realize or that they had found it, or she had deleted it and thought they couldn't find it, but there's video on her phone of this incident, and I don't know if they were biding their time in showing it to her or what.
Yeah, they told her.
And with the whole, how this, where it was that they decided to do this, because they must have been chuckling their asses off every single time she said, if you guys just look on my phone.
Right. And that was totally strategic on their part. They wanted to see what they could juice out of her without that big bombshell. Right.
So, so this is like the big reveal.
Okay,
And I love this.
He'll hold it while I'm cooking or just something. Do the facial recognition.
Okay, so he doesn't know the password and he doesn't have the facial recognition. No, he is the only other person that would use your phone.
Yes.
And this is them establishing that besides Jorge, no one else gets into her phone. That before they fucking show her this video. Which I think is fucking great, by the way.
Assuming other
Well, Lucas.
right. So Lucas wasn't there Sunday. Right. So, to your recollection, no videos on Sunday.
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay.
I mean, I guess I maybe took a picture of them, the two of Tess and
The dogs.
and George and them dancing, but I mean, or it's just Tess.
Okay. So I have something that I want to show you that we found, and it was from your phone. You see it?
No, I don't remember that.
For everything you've done to me. For everything you've done to me.
Your battery's about to die.
Oh.
I love that. Your battery's about to die. Thank
I was
God.
just gonna-
That's
I
what
was
she's
ju-
saying. Thank God.
That's my favorite part too.
It's called.
Your battery's about to die. So,
Glad you had that to say.
yeah, so this whole time, like, so then they show her, they eventually show her the video, but here's some more reaction that she has.
When she asked you if you've ever done that before, you look kind of shocked. And,
No,
okay, but why did you say it like that? Like,
I don't think you all understand who I am. Where,
well, tell me.
I mean, I've always been a straight-A student. I am an outstanding mother to my son. I excel at everything.
What the fuck does that have to do with anything?
Nothing. And she's lying. She's not an outstanding mother to her son.
Right. Like, all that bullshit. So then they get the video back up, and they're able to show that to her. Let me get that. And you get to see her actual reaction to the video.
That guy detective looks like Mr. Big from Sex and the City. Just
Because I don't know how much I can take.
Is it long? Because I don't know how much I can take. You fucking sat through it, bitch.
right.
I don't know how much I can take.
She knows it's bad. She knows it's bad.
Oh, yeah.
Do I have to watch this?
Yes.
I
Yes, you do.
continuously throw up. I don't sleep. I don't want to see it, if that's okay.
Yeah. Of course you don't want to see it.
Well, it's on your phone, and you can either explain it or we take it for what it is.
Yeah. We're just trying to give you the opportunity to tell us what's going on. That's it.
It's that long?
2 minutes.
For everything you've done to me. For everything you've done to me. Fuck you.
And that's you, your voice.
Stupid. My name. Don't wear it up. Yeah, that's when you really trust me. I don't want to watch that too.
Last time we talked to you, you had said that you put him in the suitcase, he had 2 fingers hanging out.
I flipped him over. I flipped him over, and that's where it was.
There's 2 different videos and a still picture where,
I flipped him over, so, you know, he couldn't get...
yeah, it shows you flipping him in different positions, and him saying that he can't breathe, and you saying fuck
So
you.
this is upside down. So in order for him to have gotten into it,
It was flipped up.
right, it was flipped up normal.
Yes.
Like as if you're packing something. So this is upside down.
Guys, this is killing me right now.
So this image
It's
is
killing
upside
her right
down,
now.
Isn't that the
and
most
then
ironic thing you could
this
say?
small video that occurred 11 minutes later, it's flipped over the other way, closer to your dining room table.
Okay.
Now he's obviously still in there. So he didn't, how did it go from the back to the front?
I flipped it.
Okay.
My plan was not to go upstairs and go to sleep,
Well, that's what you did.
Yeah.
but not intentional of.
No, you told me you went upstairs because
Look,
you were
Stop
getting
here.
ready for bed.
stopped here.
Okay, but
Where's here?
show me where you can see any fingers coming out, because there's the end.
It's, and his head's right here.
Mm-hmm.
So going like this, rather than going all the way up, it's like this.
But why is he saying I can't breathe, and why is he pushing on it as if he can't get out?
And it doesn't show a hole.
There's no
Okay.
hole. There's no fingers. I don't see his fingers. There's no hole.
I don't know what you want me to tell you. Like, I don't know, like, what you want me to tell you.
I'm just showing you. I'm just telling you what we see and what we've heard from the
I
other video.
understand. I understand.
He's begging for you to let him out. You're laughing in the beginning, and then in the end, it sounds kind of like a.
No, it's not malicious.
Well, saying fuck you,
It's not malicious.
It's not malicious. Well, saying fuck you.
Yeah, it's not malicious at all.
No, not even one little bit malicious. Come
Definitely not
on,
malicious
lady.
on a suitcase.
I mean, how delusional can she be? I don't think, and to be honest, I don't think she's delusional. Like, I think she planned to do this completely. I think that she thought that she could throw this bullshit explanation at the cops and that they would buy it. I think that she also thought that even if they didn't, that she could use a battered woman argument
Yeah.
and get away with it that way. I don't think that she was I don't think she was delusional in any way on this. I think she knew completely what she was doing when she zipped him up in that fucking thing.
She may have been drunk enough that maybe she thought he would just spend a miserable night. But I don't understand why she didn't ask for a lawyer at any point. I don't
Yeah.
get it.
Yeah.
I don't get it. If this really truly were an accident, I would have asked for a lawyer. Be like, yo, I know this was
She probably
fucked.
couldn't. She probably couldn't get one.
No, you can always ask for a lawyer, even if you can't afford one. They'll still give
No,
you
no,
one.
no. They probably all would said, "Fuck that. We know her."
But not yet, they didn't. If that's true, she would have just kept her mouth shut and not said, not malicious, not malicious.
Right. If she,
Probably
if
would
she,
have been okay.
right, that was her. That's her big mistake in this whole thing.
Her
Is
trying
opening
to
her
get
fucking
away with
mouth.
it.
Yeah.
Because I feel like the big detail of ignorance here that she's missing is the fact that non-malicious murder is still fucking murder. Like, you
Yeah.
still suffer a consequence even if you accidentally kill someone. Guess what? That bitch is still going to court.
Yeah.
And
Exactly.
she seems to completely forget that, and she thinks that just because it was an accident, oh, we can all just pack up and go home and forget this never happened.
Yeah. It's all just fine. Everything's cool.
It's like, no,
It's just-
that's not the way this works. Even
Yeah.
if it was an accident, we still need to talk.
Yeah. We still got to go over this. And sorry if it's inconveniencing you. You know, but that's the way that it is. You know, and none of us are going to want to go through this, regardless of whether we're guilty or innocent.
Right.
You know, none of us are going to want to have to go down to the police station and answer questions, you know, about our loved one having died, whether we are responsible for it or we're not. Like, but the fact of the matter is, this is just how things go. Now, you know, I'm gonna be honest with you. As a dude who's been through the system, if something happened to my significant other and they fucking wanted to speak to me down to the jail, I would do it with an attorney, whether I was innocent or not.
Yes, absolutely.
Sorry, but that's what they've done.
Yeah.
And people can look at that as a presumption of guilt on people's parts. I refuse to speak to police anymore without an attorney present.
Honestly, a jury isn't allowed to consider that against you. The fact that you got a lawyer, you're not allowed to make that a bullet point on the list. So,
Right. So I love how when you go in, they say, well, we wanted to give you the opportunity to talk to us.
well,
You know,
she
and
did
tell
come to
us
this
your
little
side.
point.
Tell us your side of the story. And that's fucking horseshit, people,
Yeah.
by the way. You know, and I'm not advocating, you know, like in any way. Like, these people, the system allows cops to lie to you, but you're not allowed to lie to them.
Right.
It is so fucked up how this whole system works.
Well, but it worked because of stupid people like Sarah Boone. Because just like this, the reason she can't get a lawyer to stay with her is because she fucked her case. You cannot defend this video footage. Not
No.
the 911 call, not the arrival of the first responders, not the interrogation, not the video on her cell phone. All of it is completely undefendable, and it's because
And
she
damning.
asked for a lawyer.
Right, and at this point, I'm sure her lawyer is like, listen, you got to accept fucking reality.
Yes, but she can't.
You know? Right, and she doesn't want to. So, she's fucking, you know, grasping for fucking straws, and her attorney's like, what the fuck? I don't know if my connection says it's getting fucking wonky here. Hopefully hopefully you don't lose me. But, so yeah, I mean, I think her biggest mistake was A, not shutting her mouth, and B, not asking for an attorney.
Yeah.
Like, she should have showed up to that police interview with an attorney.
Yes.
She would be in a much better position than she is right now. Now, do I want her in a much better position than she is right now? No. No, not really. But ultimately, the evidence in and of itself is going to fuck her. I don't think an attorney can really get her can squeeze her too much out of the, or through the loopholes of the legal system.
There are no loopholes, and that's actually the current attorney she has. He's trying, and he got the extension to July because he was saying that they could not find a witness, expert witness to testify, and he claimed that he doesn't have a big enough budget to pay somebody to do so. And the ironic thing is, it's like, yeah, because you can't pay anybody enough money to look at that video footage and say anything other than she's a murderous bitch. So you're looking for somebody that doesn't exist.
Right. Yeah, it's a very cut and dry case, to be honest. I don't see, like I said, I don't see any wiggle room. I don't see how they're gonna squeeze her through any legal loopholes.
This is a case that she should have made a plea agreement.
Yeah.
No
she should have gone in there with an attorney and said, "Listen, we had a very abusive relationship.
Yes.
I popped, I did but through her attorney. Like, hey, this is what we'd like to present. We'd like, and tried to get her sentence down so that she only had to serve, whatever. And to be honest, she probably would have fucking gotten it.
Yes, she
based
would
on the
have.
evidence.
Yes.
But instead, it's not malicious. I love her big eyes.
Oh, her
The
facial
fucking
expression.
the fucking facial expressions. I mean, let's look at it again, because it's fucking brilliant. Like,
And she drinks out of the hose because she's so thirsty when she's, oh my gosh.
it's great. It's great. Oh, they're gonna give me another fucking ad. Fuck you, ads. I hate ads. All right. Yeah, I love this.
I did, but then I fell asleep. Okay, stop. Okay, I wasn't trying to figure out what happened. Like, had an aneurysm or a heart attack or what?
Aneurysm. She's so dumb. Yeah.
None that I know
Had
of.
an aneurysm.
None that I know of. No. All we had was a bottle of wine. Literally, just a bottle of wine. Okay. She entitled artwork. Then we decided to go ahead and see.
Yeah, I listened to her in the video. So the video's on here too. Of the actual what the cops saw. So that is right here. Now, there's nothing too dark. I mean, it's pretty dark, but
Visually, it's not
visually,
dark.
there's nothing.
Visually, it's
You're not seeing a dead body or anything. The guy is still alive. But this is the video that they found on her phone. So if something like this is gonna bother you, I'd tell you to tune out right now. This one is a little dark.
For everything you've done to me. For everything you've done to me. Fuck you. Fuck you. Stupid.
She sounds really drunk.
Yeah, that was the thing. Like,
That's my name. Don't wear it up.
that was my take. Was she says one bottle of wine? Fuck you.
Yeah, that's when you do when you choke me.
Yeah, this video is fucking rough.
It is. It's really rough.
So I definitely encourage anybody that is interested in this case to go to that guy's YouTube channel, Dreading Crime and Psychology, and watch through that. He goes through it step by step, like from the fucking 911 call through, there's testimony, not testimony, but people witness statements.
Yeah.
Well, witness statements of people, saying that they saw them fighting all the time and stuff. He goes through it step by step. It's pretty well done, and I would definitely recommend it if you're interested in this case. This woman is a fucking hoot, and when I say hoot, this is a fucking, like, her brain should be fucking taken apart and fucking analyzed.
Yeah.
Like, these are the types of fucking people. Like, I don't understand them. Like, they're broken. Like, something happened to her long before this Jorge guy.
It's so sad the way he
because,
just suffocated. Ugh.
Because her ex-husband talked about how she was. Her excessive drinking. Like, something happened to this woman a long time ago.
Yeah.
I don't know what it was. It's a sad fucking story. I hope that maybe through, serving some fucking time and, finding herself, she can, find some peace in her fucking life, maybe. 'Cause I can't imagine that it's easy being a broken person like that. I can't.
No, but I can't imagine.
Amy, I tend to disagree. You can. That's not entirely true. It's not entirely true. You're looking at a guy that used to fucking wake up in his car in a ditch.
Yeah, you can fix people, but there's a certain line that I feel like does where it's like, okay, we can fix you, but that doesn't mean you need to be let back out.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying she's necessarily one of those people. I'm not, but it is a debatable line.
And Amy, you said it has to start with them. That's what I said. I said that she has to find it within herself.
Yes, for sure.
Like, I don't think anybody else can do it for her.
Well, and that's the thing, is she's not going to until this goes to trial and she can settle into whatever sentence she gets. But
she's gonna hit a nice hard bottom.
Yeah.
Is what she needs.
I
mean, yeah. When she realizes she's stuck in fucking jail, and or prison, wherever the fuck. Well, prison will be where she fucking winds up. But
yeah.
And she's got a long road ahead of her. Maybe she can start to find some room to grow, and hopefully that's. Like I said before from the beginning of the show. Isn't that what we're ultimately looking for? Now, do I think that she's a right piece of shit? Yeah. Yeah, I absolutely do. But do I think that she can find redemption? Now, yes. Now, do I think that she should be let out anytime soon, or that, she should be found not guilty because of the... No. I think she should go to jail. I think she should serve some time. I hope she can find redemption within herself and fix herself.
Yeah.
And come out of it okay on the other side. Now, that's not going to be an easy road. We don't make it easy in this country for people to come out of jail, to come out of prison, and acclimate back to society. No. And it doesn't matter what the fuck you've done. Like, you could go in for minor offenses for short amounts of time. They don't, your life's fucked. You're out of the, you can't pay your rent. You can't do any of your shit. They don't let you back out with anything.
Right.
You're fucked. So good luck.
Yeah.
And in other countries, I think they do a better job of trying to rehabilitate their criminals than we do.
Yeah.
I think we have a system that has decided that they are unworthy to society the minute they've done anything wrong.
Yes.
Whether it be a small infraction or a large infraction, fuck you, you're done.
Right.
You no longer serve...
There needs to be a grading scale. Like, are you an A+ criminal or are you a D- criminal? You know what I mean? Like, there does need to be some distinction where, like, hey, we've got some young 22-year-old who just doesn't know any better because he didn't have shit for a childhood. Like, yeah, let's help that kid out and get him back on the right path. But then you got other people where it's a totally different story, and you're right, we don't have a distinction. Whether you're a small-time criminal or a big-time criminal, we throw you in the same fucking pit and treat you like shit either way. So
Right. And that's the other thing. They need to this idea that we throw all the guys who are all doing different shit all into the same pit. Like, how is that helpful?
yeah.
How is that helpful? Like, I've spent time in jail, and I can tell you, based on my experience, like, you just get thrown in with everybody. Like, there's no delineation. Like, hey, you did something small. We don't even, innocent until proven guilty. Yeah, fuck you. You're in with everybody, and it doesn't matter. That's the other thing that we need to stop fucking saying in this country. Innocent until proven guilty.
Yeah.
Because the minute you've been charged, you're considered guilty. My favorite thing to watch, which is also one of the things that I absolutely hate, and that's one of the reasons why I watch is because I hate it, is fucking Sheriff Grady Judd from down in fucking, I think it's Pensacola area, Florida. Maybe it's Pinellas Park area. I don't know. Anyway, it's fucking down in Florida. And he'll announce the people that have been charged. Like, he does big press conferences.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And it's like, okay, so basically you've just come out and announced that this person is completely and utterly fucking guilty. And they haven't even gone to court yet.
Yeah, that's not good.
But that's what we do in this country. And I hate to say it, but the media is nothing but a fucking mouthpiece for the cops. Because they come out and fucking announce exactly what the police say, which then sticks which puts the bug in the ears of all the people that are potential jurors out there that this person is guilty.
Well, in this day and age, there is more information coming from more than just the police.
That is true. That is true.
But still, yes, there's still very much a skewed nature to mainstream media true crime coverage, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's it's kind of sad.
It is. Our system is totally fucked. And it's crazy because when you look at it, there are checks and balances in place where you think objectively, gee, this should work. But there's humans involved. And
we jail more of our citizens. We have less people, Katie. We jail more of our citizens than China.
Wow.
That in and of itself should give everyone pause. That the United States, which claims that China is this fucking horrible, horrible place, we jail more people per capita than China. It's fucking crazy.
That is weird to think about because of how many people they have, but it's hard to manage that many people too. But
I think the American dream was a good idea. And the people that have tried to implement it over the years have fiddled around and fucked it up so fucking much that I don't know that the system that we currently have is fixable.
I struggle with relating because I understand we have different education levels, we have different life experience, but the big motivating factor for me is knowing how the system is fucked, and I'm not going to do anything fucking wrong. Like, why do people do such stupid shit and think they're going to get away with it? I just don't.
Well, but that's
Sarah
not
Boone is
so.
the perfect
But that
example.
But that's not that's not the way that we should live our lives, though, Katie.
I
because
agree.
because if something, so like let's look at the cop that was down in Florida planting fucking evidence on people and ruining people's lives for years.
Right.
You know, and their lives have been ruined.
Yeah.
Even though he's been taken off the force and charged and everything, their fucking lives are over because of those records.
Right.
Even if they're expunged, whatever. They were put in jail for fucking meth possession.
And that's a horrible, horrible, horrible thing.
So to sit there and say and you know, these are people like little old ladies that he would do this to, fucking, you know, it didn't matter. And like to sit there and say, well, I'm just not going to do anything wrong. Well, until you run into that cop that decides that you have.
That's true. I just mean in the case of somebody like Sarah Boone, how can you do what you did and then turn around and talk to half a dozen law officials and act like you're going to get away with this?
No,
Like,
she's a dumbass.
I just can't comprehend how you could get to that point in life where you're like, oh yeah, I could totally get away with this.
Yeah. You definitely aren't. No, I agree with you completely on that. Like, she should have shut her fucking mouth.
Yeah.
Like, there are instances where you're given everything by the cops. You know, you're given every chance to protect yourself. And I think in Sarah Boone's case, she was. You know, she wasn't railroaded by the police.
No.
They didn't. No one was trying to. There was nothing underhanded going on by the police force in that town. I don't think that there was any evidence planted or anything like that.
Responding officer, that body cam, the lady that was taking that body cam, she was a fucking patient angel.
Oh yeah.
To her. She was a God-given angel to Sarah Boone. And Sarah Boone was just like, fuck that. I'm still going to try to get away with it, even though this angel has been presented in front of me.
Yeah, and you know, like you and I were saying, if she had just shut her mouth, asked for an attorney, and presented a case of, hey, we had a tumultuous relationship. I was at wit's end. This happened.
Yeah.
You know, I snapped. You know, whatever. I think it would have been looked at with a lot softer eyes being presented by an attorney versus her. And I think she would have had a better chance of serving less time. I think she's going to serve some time.
Yeah.
I'm hopeful that she's going to serve some fucking time.
There's no way she's not going to serve some time. But it's just like so many other famous interrogations. You watch them, and the whole time you watch them, you're just like, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck. Shut the fuck up.
What are you doing?
Shut up.
What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? I don't know how many times I've watched those interviews and been like, dummy!
Yeah.
Stop!
I'm watching a new one today. A new one I've never seen today of this bitch. And I'm just like, the whole time, it's literally been like 4 hours I've watched of it. And I was like, shut up. Why are you still talking? 3 hours of me saying, shut up. Shut up. Stop talking.
Yeah. You're not helping yourself. and take it from somebody who knows. I've done it. Okay? And that's the reason why that from now on, if I ever speak to the police, I will not do it without an attorney. I was put in that position and told lies. You know, as long as you give us your statement, everything will be great, man. We're all good. You know, and then I fucking wound up spending fucking a couple of days in jail. You know, as soon as I signed that statement and gave it to him, that cop was gone and I was getting fucking booked. So, you know, they will lie to you just to get you to do whatever the fuck they want. So get yourself an attorney.
Yes.
And I don't care what it is that you've done. Because, whether or not anyone wants to believe me or not, I really don't give a sweet shit. What I went to jail for was a bullshit charge.
Yeah.
It was a complete bullshit charge because somebody wanted to be vindictive. That's all it was. There was no need for it. It was a waste of governmental resources because some fucking asshole wanted to be vindictive. That's all it was.
Stuff like that should be punished too. People victimize or like weaponizing the system should totally be punished for that.
Yeah. And I completely agree with that. People who weaponize the system need to be taken into account too. Or taken to account, I should say.
Yeah.
Because it's horseshit. So, but anyway, we'll wrap up on that note. Dean Cooper is an asshole. We'll just state that. Dean Cooper, asshole of the evening. We will be back next week. We hope you enjoyed the Sarah Boone coverage, Farmer Fred. I hope we went into it enough for you. Granted, we try to do what we can with the time that we have on this show. I do still like doing the news of the strange, so the first half of the show is going to stay. And we only do have, about an hour for the second half, so we try to cram in, what we have for that. Next week, I'm still working on the staircase, Katie, so next week, why don't we try to touch on, because we haven't done anything cult-related lately. We do talk about the Danny Masterson trial like every week to touch base on it, but try to find something cult related for next week. So we'll talk after the show, see if we can figure out something. The episode is Farmer Fred Smith approved.
Yes.
So we're good on that. We're good on that aspect. Sarah Boone, she is a hoot, ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully we'll be able to give you an update soon about how that trial is going. We will be keeping up on the Brian Kohlberger stuff as that comes out. We will update you more on the Lori Vallow shit, obviously. All that stuff. Katie and I tend to keep up on that stuff fairly regularly. So I will dig into more of the staircase, and Katie and I will bring you something cult-related next Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Until then, be good to one another out there. It's a crazy world, and sometimes it's well worth fighting for. We'll see you next week, people.